This is up from last week. It was down all the way.
The audio?
Volume.
7 seconds.
The microphone. Wow, I'm not getting anything.
The views and opinions on this program are not necessarily those of WSTU Digital 1450. The opinions expressed are those of the program hosts and guests. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's time now for the Martin County Difference with your host, dancing realtor Julia Sansevere.
Good evening. Welcome to the Martin County Difference on the radio and in real estate. I'm Julia Sansevere, your host, and I am a realtor with Coldwell Banker here on the Treasure Coast. We are coming to you live from beautiful downtown Stuart, Florida from WSTU 1450 AM, live streaming at WSTUtv.com and Facebook Live at the Martin County Difference at its own Facebook page, and also after the show as a podcast at themartincountydifference.com. I've made it easy so you have all the same names.
That's
to go
right.
For.
Yes.
Look for it on YouTube and everything. And it's Wednesday, April 25th, 2018. It's the last Wednesday of April. And this is the 115th day of the year. I'm keeping track.
I see that.
Yes.
How many days before Christmas?
Well, I didn't know that. You got a surprise question, Frank.
Okay, all right.
Frank Mezzapel messing with me. Hello, Frank.
Hey.
And on this day,
Yes.
in relation to my dance and realtor thing, 1995, on this day, actress Ginger Rogers passed away at the ripe old age of 83, and she is best known, of course, for the 10 films she made with her dance partner, the illustrious Fred Astaire.
Right.
And she had the hard part. She had
Yes.
to dance backwards in heels.
Yes. Exactly.
Like I did, doing the Latin Hustle for the Martin County Healthy Start Coalition, which was a great way to raise money to have healthy babies, and that's how this show came into being. It was born, as it were,
Yes.
all about the babies.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and that's what this show is about. It's helping others and shining a light on those in the community who are doing good, and thank them, and we have some good guests tonight. But just real quickly, I had an amazing weekend. I just want to tell everybody, go Houston, Houston Strong. Had a lot going on there. Hi, Mom. I was with her this weekend for a family reunion for my father's side, however. But I saw my mom, of course, and we have a pavilion at Lake Livingston, and we call it Barnes Family Landing. And it's quite exciting because ever since about 1960, in the early 60s, my father, Jake Clegg, and his cousin, Sam Barnes, and a few other cousins got together and said, you know, we just see each other at funerals and weddings, and at half the time somebody's dead. That's not good, you know. So, and so rather than be sad and see each other, let's have a family reunion. And voila, it was born. So a big shout out to all my second, third, and fourth cousins and the ones removed. Everybody was there this week. Well, not everybody. About 50 to 60 people were there.
Nice.
That's
Good
only
turnout.
half the crowd.
Yeah.
Not everybody can come every year. But boy, the ones who didn't get there missed out on some good Texas barbecue.
I bet.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it runs on Saturday and Sunday, and I could only get there on Sunday, but it was really, really terrific. And I want to give a shout out to Dan Barnes and Sally Barnes Edmonds and Jessica. Oh my goodness. The Gibson clan, that's my father's cousin, so, and Jessica Parrish, and also Mary Bullis. So these are all the cousins of kind of my generation who continued the tradition, and thank you to you and everyone who I didn't mention, but you know who you are. And it was a really nice, and we had a good photo, family photo.
Nice.
Took my tripod and the iPhone, that magical iPhone, and got a good photo and posted on Instagram and Facebook. And so that was Saturday and Sunday, and then on Friday and Saturday, those 2 days prior, was the Spam Robotics team.
Yeah, how did they do?
They did very well. They played very well. I posted that video on on Facebook as well. And that was at the George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston. And there were about 40,000 or 50,000 people there. That's like 400 teams from around the world. And this is Spam Robotics FRC Team 180 from here in Stuart, all the high school kids. They made it to the quarterfinals.
Nice.
And they placed 8th overall. So congratulations to all the team, especially Michael and Melissa Sansevere, our grandchildren,
Right.
which is wonderful. And prior to that, on Friday night, as I said before, when I left here, I was going to try to make it by Barbara Bush's public visitation. And I did.
Oh,
I did.
wow.
It was
Good for
awesome.
you.
Yeah. I paid my respects to her. She is just a great American woman and one of our best first ladies ever, and may she rest in peace. So it was quite the experience. I noticed as soon as I got off of the 610 loop, which is the freeway around town, to get to that part of town, police presence everywhere,
Right.
flashing lights,
Right.
all kinds of things. And I was headed to the Second Baptist Church.
Yeah.
And that's where you would park your car, and all these volunteers point you in the way to go and everything. So many nice people from Second Baptist, and they tell you where to go. You went into a room to get screened, a light screening, security screening with the Secret Service all there. And then they ushered us into a waiting room with chairs, and a few minutes after we were seated and a little bit of a crowd had gathered, they ushered us out into buses, all free, the Bushes or somebody, the government, we paid for it somewhere along the way, but they ferried us back and forth to St. Martin's. That's the church where the visitation and then eventually the memorial service on Saturday was. And that was only about 2 miles away, so it was a quick ride, and we walked into the church, we signed the guest book, so my name's there, which is like, just said hello from Stuart and Houston.
Right.
And then we proceeded into the sanctuary, and we passed by her casket, and it was draped beautifully, generously, with just so many pink roses. It was gorgeous. And a lot of women were wearing navy blue, her favorite color.
And pearls.
And pearls.
Yes.
You got it.
Yeah.
I noticed on the bus ride over, I'm like, oh, I didn't bring my pearls, as a tribute. It was her signature jewelry. It was so
Yes.
sweet. And then everyone on their way out was handed a beautiful note card, a thank you card. Ooh, I have it in my purse. I'm going to hold it up to the camera.
President Bush made an announcement. He was just recently released from hospital.
Yes.
And he thanked the city of Houston and everybody that came for his wife.
They did a good job.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Houston did us proud.
Yeah.
And, there was every age, every race visiting, coming together for that great lady. And that's what we are. We are one nation under God. And God bless the Bushes. And again, my respects go out to them, my deepest condolences. It was just a completely smooth operation. But this is beautiful. This beautiful photograph of her in her navy blue,
And
with polka dots and her
Mm-hmm.
pearls.
Right.
And as her son Jeb, our former governor of Florida, said, Mom loved her plastic pearls. They were her signature thing. And that's a beautiful photo of her. And I held it up in the light in this beautiful courtyard fountain garden and took a picture of that. And everybody was doing the same thing. We just really felt a special place in our hearts for her.
Yeah.
And so
Everybody's grandmom.
everybody's grandmother. And she took a lot of heat for being real.
Yeah.
But that's who she was.
Yeah.
She was really Barbara, and as Jeb said, it went from here in her brain to her mouth and out.
That's right.
I love that.
No filter.
No filter. Yeah, and that's better.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
So
Genuine. Yeah.
she raised quite the family, and what a matriarch. So love you, Barbara Bush, and God rest your soul. So welcome to the show. That's my little intro, and if it's your first time, welcome, welcome, and if it's not your first time, welcome back. And we're here in Stuart, and I am a realtor, so I can help you with your real estate needs at 772-919-1385. And this show is all about, a little bit about real estate and all about the community. And I've got some wonderful people from the community tonight, Alice Luckhardt and Barbara Osborn. They are two of my favorite historians for our local area. As we head into May, they're going to bring us up to date on our historic preservation month of May. And in real estate news, I have, just repeating what I said last week, it is a robust market. I have been going great guns, and while I was out of town, I did 2 contracts. It's insane, but I pulled up some stats, and I wanted to go over those. We definitely are in a seller's market, but it's also an even-Steven market. We are selling houses and at good prices, and I looked at a comparison from 2017 to 2018 for this month of March. That's what we can do. We can go back 1 month. So April, we haven't got the stats yet from it. But for March, overall, everything is, I did a little arrow when I noticed something is in a percentage change year over year, up or down. overall, I'd say 9 out of 10 arrows are up. The only ones that go down are when, like new listings. We don't have enough new listings coming on the market to satisfy the buyer's market. But we have a very short supply of months of inventory, which is, that's good news. That keeps it going, it refreshes it, doesn't get stale. And our closed sales in March in Martin County were 237 closed sales. And we currently have 1,041 homes on the market. So that's a pretty heavy duty percentage that we're that's why there's 5 months. 200 out of 1,000 are closing. So that's 5 months. If you didn't get any more inventory on the market, you'd have 5 months of inventory to clear out. And then the interesting thing is who paid cash. How many were cash? 43% in Martin County were cash. So the lenders are getting now a little bit more of the business. Rates are low. Now's the good time to get a loan. It's still under 5%. It's like 4.3, I think, or something. And the average sale price really ticked up about 4.5% from last year at this time, which is very good. It's not crazy. It's not double digits here, but and we went up more in for cash sales than in St. Lucie County and Palm Beach County. I pulled Palm Beach and St. Lucie as well. In condos and townhouses, oh my goodness, those are easier purchases, I guess, for people, a lower nut, because the average sale price in Martin County for a house was about $537,000, and that went up. That's up about 4.5%. But townhouses and condos, holy mackerel, paid in cash. 70% of the sales were cash for condos and townhouses. I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
And we have, not that much inventory. Also, 4.5 months of inventory. So those sales are going quickly. In March this year, 126 sales closed. And that's up 6.8%. And the amount of sales that closed this year for houses was up just 0.4%. So it's still ticking up in a healthy way, I'd say. We've got 55 days, went down to 53 days. That's a down arrow, but that's a shorter time on the market. That's good. People are getting the idea they better jump while they can and get a good sale. And, across the board, though, I looked at the graph, and you've got an upward tick of sales, which is good, and closed sales, and a downward tick of inventory. Just slightly, but it shows. But the biggest improvement was St. Lucie County. That was interesting in their graph. I looked at that, and they, especially in short sales and foreclosures, because the distress sales are all part of this too, and they have gotten rid of a lot of their inventory that was in short sale or foreclosure. So that's good news. That shows the market is really rebounding. And continuing to be healthy and grow at a good rate, not a crazy rate. And we have hardly any short sales or foreclosures in Martin County left at this point in time, at least not sales of them. And the inventory's low too. And Palm Beach County is the same way. They have a little bit more because there are more people there and more houses and stuff on the market. But relatively speaking, the percentage is still the same about, in terms of percentages. So I thought those were some interesting statistics.
Yes, very interesting.
And it sheds a light on our market, generally speaking. You can go to my website to look at my listings. I have a really fabulous one I'm going to tell you about that is 1.795. It's horses and ocean access. 5 acres out on the Okeechobee Waterway. You can go to the Gulf of Mexico. You can go to the Atlantic Ocean, ride your horses in the front yard, then go for a ride on your boat in the backyard. So it's really nice. Yeah, and that one is at 10075 Green Ridge Lane. Look it up. Go to my website, juliasansevere.com. Call all your friends with horses and or yachts and tell them, hey, I've got a deal for you. So that's real estate news. And in tonight's news, I do have Barbara Osborn and Alice Luckhardt. And the show tonight is brought to you by TC Palm Home Inspections. They have been with me from the get-go. Love them. And Portia B. Scott, attorney. She's my next addition to my family of sponsors. And last but not least, Tech Medics. So as you know, Gary and Terry Milka, family-owned business here in Martin County, and they're licensed in Palm Beach and St. Lucie County as well. And they perform home inspections, well, he does with his son Gage, and pre-inspections. And I encourage that because you don't know what you're going to get until the inspector shows up.
Yeah, that's true.
And you don't want to have the sale go bonkers. So they do a good job, and you can get in touch with Gary Milka at TC Palm Home Inspections, and that's 8133, and check out their website at tcpalmhomeinspections.com, and his email, very easy to remember, it's all tcpalmhomeinspections@gmail.com, and again his number is 772-678-8133. And then if you've got a legal question and you're an elder person or it's just some family issues, you can call Portia B. Scott at 772-287-0096, and her website is attorneystuartflorida.com, and her email is similar. It's her initials and her name, pbscott@attorneystuartflorida.com, and she's available Monday through Friday at her office, or even weekends and evenings. She can make arrangements for you to have an appointment with her. She's fabulous. Former president to the Martin County Bar Association in 2003, and she helps you plan your pre-wedding. If you've got the jitters and you're not sure your spouse, you know, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. She'll help you with that, and you know, everything right down to the inheritance for your great-grandchildren. And she is local. She's right on Central Parkway at 921 Central Parkway, in that nice little strip of shops and things that goes through there between US 1 and Canner. So that's easy to find right across from the Stuart News. So you want to give Portia a call at 772-287-0096, or go to her website, attorneystuartflorida.com. And then last but not least, my buddy, Joe Stango. He is the sole proprietor of TechMedics, and that's TEKMEDICS. He's just amazing when it comes, aren't you, Joe? Yes, you are. And he's telling me I need a new computer, because right now, this isn't working.
It's a little slow.
I'm glad I printed out my script for tonight. Yeah, it's slow, it's non-existent. It is not working. So it's just, I just decided to bring a weight with me, a dead weight, tonight. So it's time.
It's a prop now.
So I hear you, Joe, loud and clear.
Right.
But he's really good. He teaches 1-hour classes at the Kane Center on Friday mornings on an iPad, iPhone, and Facebook between 9:30 and 2:30. And you can go to thecanecenter.org to sign up. It's only $85 for 4 weeks, which is 4 hours of instruction. Quite the deal. And his number directly for any kind of assistance is 772-781-4446, or email him at info@techmedics.net, and visit his website at techmedics.net. So give him a call, that's 772-781-4446, or go to thecanecenter.org to sign up for one of his classes. And now we can really start the show. We have two fabulous ladies. We have, coming in right now and sitting down next to me, is Alice Luckhardt.
Hi there.
Hello. Put your little headset on.
Yeah.
And then going to be sitting next to her is another fabulous lady, full of historical tidbits, Barbara Osborn. Hi, Barbara.
How are you?
Up to the mic.
Okay.
And
I'll
we'll go.
I'll be better
Well, the
this
one with the
time.
windscreen would be good, in case we get a
That's
breeze
all right.
in here.
That's all right.
In case a hurricane blows through.
I'll just turn them all on.
Turn them all on. There you go. There we go. Talk as much as you like into any mic. And we did have some crazy wind and rain yesterday.
Yeah.
That's right. So I just want to welcome you back. You were here last year, and this is that time of year that Martin County
Been
has
a year already.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Woohoo! So yeah, Historic Preservation Month is coming up in May.
Yes.
And so many good things. Thanks for sending me this earlier today. This is a fabulous, a huge itinerary of all kinds of things coming up for the month of May. And tell us, where can somebody go find this list of things?
Well, I just picked them up from Canane Printing, and I'm about to distribute them to Blake Library, the County Admin Building, the feed store,
Good.
anywhere I can.
All right, Barbara. So Barbara Osborn, speaking first, stepping up to the mic. That's good. So the feed store is right downtown. It's the red building. If you don't know and you're not from Stuart, the cutest red supply store. It's a feed store.
Yeah.
It was a real family. That's part of the history.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them who used to live there and when they moved in. And
It was many things. On the outside, it was George Park's
Store originally,
General Store.
Right.
1901.
Yeah.
And that is where we're having our kickoff on May 1st at
Okay.
5 o'clock.
Okay, 5 o'clock, May 1st.
Mhm.
That's good. And what are you going to do there? What's going to happen?
Well, Nikki Norton is going to be the MC.
Oh, Nikki.
She's
okay.
been on the Historic Preservation Board for about 10 years also.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's running for one of the commissioner spots,
Mhm.
and she is the daughter of a friend of mine, Jeff Clark, in my
Yes,
office.
yes, yes.
It's a small world
Yes,
here in
we
Stuart.
love Jeff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. And May 1st is going to be on
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay, good. I hope everybody did their great give yesterday on Tuesday the 24th. I did. But anyway, I'm getting a little echo back. What's going on? Okay, you're getting a fix.
I got Alice's microphone on, and so
Oh,
and
okay.
so it's getting a little
kicking
little
back.
cross
Okay, good.
here, yeah.
All right, do speak up, Alice.
I'll override you.
And welcome. Yeah, that's right. I'll push this over here this way. So welcome back.
Yes. Well, we're really looking forward to this. We've worked on this, and it's one of our great things every year.
It sure is.
And it gives anybody, visitors, residents, people who grew up here, a chance to get inside some of these places, learn about it. We've got all kinds of speakers. And one of the reasons we have the kickoff is to really introduce you to this. So everybody's invited. It's a nice get-together, you know, on that Tuesday evening. And if it's nice weather, we'll be out in the back, behind the museum.
Okay,
So
that's
you don't have to worry about
and right on the
cramming in.
river.
Right on the river.
What a beautiful
So
view it
it's a
has.
great way to learn. You'll get calendars then and learn a little bit more about all the different programs that we're going to have, like we're telling right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there'll be champagne and hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, you just got my number. Champagne and hors d'oeuvres. All right. So that's the kickoff on May 1st on Tuesday. That's exciting. And so, and then it just goes, look at this list.
Yeah.
I mean, I need glasses for this. This is, you could have put it on 4 pages in bigger font and then I could read it, but that's okay.
Barbara, cover about the next day, Wednesday. We got 2 nice things there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, thank you. At 10 and 11 are 1-hour tours of the Tuckahoe Mansion,
Oh, yes.
the Leach Mansion, and then we piggyback on them going down to the Captain Sewell's house.
Yeah.
They'll take you down by tram, where my husband and I portray Captain Abby Sewell.
Yep.
We do first-person portrayals.
That's so
and
awesome.
We have a great PowerPoint presentation that Sandy Thurlow put together for us.
Another of my favorite historians from the
Mhm.
local area. She's fabulous.
Mhm.
And that's exciting. Now, tell us when
Actually,
did
on
we
May
s-
2nd, the very first
Yeah.
one, Sandy Thurlow is going to be there as guest speaker.
Oh, that's huge. Everybody, did you hear that? May 2nd on Wednesday, and that's at noon, right? No, wait, May 2nd is Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because May 1st is the
Tuesday.
kickoff Tuesday.
And she'll start at 11.
At 11, okay. Just tell us, step back a little bit. When did we start having Historic Preservation Month? Is that something
Well, we
that-
actually did it earlier. We did it like October originally.
Ah.
But I would say it's been the last, 8 years?
Yes.
Sound right?
Okay.
About
This
8
is my
years.
That's
7th
good.
one.
Wow, okay. And Stuart, for those who don't know, was discovered, settled, what's the right word? You know, we were chartered as a city,
Oh, we became incorporated.
incorporated,
I have
thank
to
you. Teach me, Alice.
Incorporated
Just
in,
Don't bang.
okay,
Nope.
in 1914.
Okay, 1914, that's what I thought. I told somebody that today. And he's an attorney from New Jersey, and so he was quizzing me.
Ah.
And our next door neighbor, Phil. And he said, well, is it the county seat? He has a very deep voice. I said, well, that's a good question, because I know that Huntsville, Texas has the courthouse in Walker County, and it's the seat of Walker County. But, is Stuart, do we have a
Yes.
seat?
That is.
We are the
Stuart
county
is
seat?
County seat, exactly.
Okay, all right.
There were other towns back then that wanted to take that position, including Indiantown. But Stuart went out.
Because we have a courthouse is one of the main things, right?
Well, the courthouse could have been placed anywhere, because we
Right.
have had, what we've got now is, several down the road that we've had. We've had other courthouses, that's not the only one.
All right,
Yeah.
okay, oh.
We've had to expand.
Yeah, okay, yeah, and well, that's a relatively new, and it does look relatively
Yes,
new.
90s, 1990s.
In the 90s, okay.
Yes.
So we have been around since 1914, and our name was not always Stuart. Anybody know in the studio? Oh, I bet you do. Do you know, honey, Richard?
What the
On
original
spot.
name was.
The original name, no. And Phil didn't know either, so I educated him.
I did know it one time, I forgot.
Yeah, Potsdam, right?
Mhm.
And where did
I
that
didn't know
name
that.
come from? Is that a
It's
Holland?
German.
Dutch-
It's
or
German. We had a lot of German settlers here. And you have to submit a name when you want a post office set up. So they submitted the
Ah.
application for a post office. And since there were so many German settlers which came from that area, they liked the name Potsdam, they decided, let's call it Potsdam. Everybody liked it, and so it was approved by the post office.
Well, baby names trendy things go in and out. I don't know, Potsdam, I'm not feeling it. I think Stuart's better.
Well, how did they come up with the name Stuart?
Well,
Yeah,
there
how
was,
did it get
there was a
Stuart?
gentleman by the railroad station, and he had heard, and it was his brother, had heard how the citizens were so upset when the engineers would come by the train station, and they always used to call out the name
Yes.
of the next stop,
Yeah.
and they'd yell out, instead of Potsdam, they named Damn Potts.
Oh.
So the ladies were really upset. So they said, we got to find a name that's so simple. So this other gentleman who had property near the train station, they approached him and they said, let's see, the last name is Stuart. Let's see, how can they mess that name up? They can't. It's a good Scottish name. So that's how it was. They asked permission and he said, sure.
That's so funny. And the train conductor people, they were just having a real good time pulling the legs.
So it wasn't named after Stuart Little.
And Stuart Little, no, that's Stewart. But that's the funny thing, when I voice text into my phone, it always wants to spell it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have to go back and correct it. It's like the autocorrect, it doesn't work. So tell us more. Now let's continue on. Tell us more.
Barbara, about the Golden Gate.
Oh, yes, on Friday, May 4th, at 11 o'clock, there is going to be a plaque dedication of the National, Golden Gate Building is going to be on the National Historic
Wow.
Register.
That's a big thing.
That's a huge
Yes.
thing.
And Julie Priest and Sadia were responsible for getting that. I'm not going to try to say her name.
know.
Safarides? Anyway.
She'll forgive you.
Sorry, Sadia. Anyway, they are having, Julie Priest is giving a lecture on how it was submitted to the National Historic
Oh,
Registry.
great.
And now they have, the plaque is on the building, but it's going to be the dedication of the plaque. And so Julie Priest is giving a lecture then, and there'll be food, and
It'll be a nice event, and that's where House of Hope is located.
Yes.
Which is so cool that they saved that building, because I drive by it every day, because
Mhm.
I live south of it and I have to go north of it just
Yeah.
about every day. And it's just the cutest little building, kind of an Alamo feel, you know.
Mhm.
It's very, very 19.
And very nice inside if you haven't seen it.
I haven't been
Oh,
inside.
you have to. It's
I
very
know. I'm
nice.
so excited. So we'll be able to go in and see
Yes,
it.
yes.
Okay, so I
and
want
did you know that it was built in 1925,
Right.
Yeah.
the same year that Martin County became a county?
Is that right? We became a county in 2025.
Yes.
August of 1925, and that we became a county the same week that Captain Sewell died.
Oh, poor Captain Sewell.
Yeah.
Well, also, weren't we part of Broward County and then Palm Beach County? So it started off, we were one.
Depends on which
Dade-
area you're talking about. You
Dade
gotta look
County.
at the river.
Okay.
The river was the dividing line.
Uh-huh.
Everything south of that, we were part of Dade County.
Dade, that's
Dade.
right, Dade.
Went all the way
Frank
down to
said
the Keys, because nobody was living there. You base it on population.
that. Oh, my goodness. So the St. Lucie River was the dividing line.
Dividing line. You had Brevard County, then north of that.
Brevard. yeah,
And
up
then
there.
later that broke off to being St. Lucie County
Oh, okay.
up there. But we're now part of Palm Beach County.
Right.
Okay, this is by 1909.
Okay.
And so we continued like that for a number of years. Finally, we got tired of being the stepchild. We were many times called you Northerners
Yeah.
because we're at the north end of Palm Beach.
The Hicks that live up.
You Northerners.
Hicks from the sticks.
How dare you ask for a new road? How dare you
Yeah.
ask for a school?
Yeah.
So we got a little tired of it by the 20s. And so we worked and worked to try and get to be our own county. Well, Palm
Mhm.
Beach was stopping every way they could. They didn't want to lose the
The
tax
income,
money.
the tax
Right.
income, right.
So finally, several of our people here in Martin County came up with the idea. There's a new governor. He's very popular. His name was John Martin.
Ah.
He has no children, so there'll be no legacy. Let's name the new county after him and get his support behind it.
Ah.
So when they approached him, he said, "Yeah, I like that idea." So he did, put the support behind
He
being
was
a
the
popular
champion
governor,
for it, yep.
and we named it Martin after him. And he adopted this county. He came down many times.
Aw.
Even after he was no longer governor, he lived in Jacksonville.
Uh-huh.
So he'd come down here for visits. He
How
loved it
interesting.
down here.
See, I know I love getting all this good tidbits from you, Alice. Alice writes a wonderful column for the Stuart
And my
News.
husband, Greg.
And your husband, Greg.
That's a Stewart boy.
That's Stuart.
I have to get
Oh,
that in.
Okay, okay.
He's a Stewart boy.
And is that every day that you write, or is
No,
it
no,
once a week?
it comes out Wednesdays.
I know. I just seem like I see it. Maybe I see the paper on Wednesdays. And you do a wonderful job of this day in Stuart or in history,
Or that person,
that
or the
person,
family.
Right. And
Yeah.
people can sometimes send you a note about something about their own family, and you'll write about that. But
Again,
you
if it's
really-
one we've covered so much, it's
much.
hard.
I know, but there's always something interesting, a little side story, but you do have such amazing retention for all the things. I love how much you know, and I can ask you anything about Martin County, and
Almost.
you know it, and Barbara too. And Barbara we're all about the water. We want to have clean water here in Martin County, and that train that stopped me from getting here on time, we don't want it.
And tomorrow at 11 o'clock is the Rivers Coalition meeting at the City of Stuart Chambers.
Thank you. Okay.
And,
What time?
11.
11, okay.
And a gentleman from the Florida Department of Protection, DEP.
Oh, DEP.
I'm so used to Marty
Department of
Baum
Environment.
saying, Florida says DEP means don't expect protection.
Oh.
So it's hard for me to say it.
The correct
And I
way.
asked Marty if he would drop by. He's playing a character during the Historic Preservation
Pierce.
Month. Pierce, right.
Yeah.
And he is our river keeper, Indian river keeper. We love him. And so I asked him if he wanted to stop by as a surprise, and he said, oh, he's exhausted. He said, all day in the heat. He really works hard for
Mhm.
us.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Mhm.
Making sure our river is clean and, looking out for, all kinds of things out there. So thank you, Marty.
Mhm.
And he said to say hi to you gals.
Thank you, Marty.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at 11 a.m.,
11.
okay, the Rivers Coalition at the Commission Chambers.
City Stuart. correct.
Oh, City of Stuart?
City of Stuart.
Not Martin County. The City of Stuart Chamber, okay,
Mhm.
down by the restaurants and all that, down
Yes.
by the river, down by the riverside. All right, good. So everybody show up for that. And what are they going to be talking about, you think?
We have representative, it was to be Noah Valenstein, the secretary of the Florida DEP, but he's actually up in Washington right now with Jackie and Mark Perry.
Okay, Jackie Thurlow
Yeah.
Lippish,
And
yes.
they are trying to iron things out and, work on that, sending,
The water south.
Yeah, the DEP.
Right.
Yeah, they were orchestrators in moving the water south. So
That's good.
This gentleman's going to be held to account tomorrow.
Good, good.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody show up. I know Gail Ryan will be there.
Yeah, so it's a gentleman by the name of Tom Frick, who's the
Frick.
replacement of Noah Valenstein.
Okay, good. Well, that's a good heads up, thank you. So maybe we'll post that on Facebook tonight. Everybody get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, our clean water is really not only our tourism, but it's our economy, because our
Right.
tourism and economy is all tied together. Yeah.
Surrounded by so much water, we have to protect it.
We must.
Yes.
And I'm glad we're all on that same team.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think everybody is. So go ahead, let's hear some
Okay,
more.
some of the other things we've got coming up, for instance, on Tuesday, May 8th, the Stuart Heritage is working with the Lyric Theater to have Kaya Fontaine, who is the executive director of the Lyric, tell the whole backstory, not only of the history of the Lyric, but also all the renovation that it's gone through.
Mhm.
You can't get that old, and it was built in 1926, and not need a little repair every so
A
often.
little facelift.
Right. So it's had its share. It had to.
Yeah.
So she's going to be covering that. She's also brought in a lot of guests that will be speaking that night at the Lyric
Okay.
about their remembrances of some of the
nice.
projects as they tear out a wall, remove a seat. What were some of the things they found? You never know. So that is at 7 o'clock at the Lyric, free of charge on May 8th.
May
And
8th.
again, part of our historic preservation and put on by the Stuart Heritage Museum.
And that's great. And you were listening tonight to Alice Luckhardt and Barbara Osborn all about Historic Preservation Month coming up in May. And this show is going to repeat next week on May 2nd.
Oh,
So make sure you say those dates loud and clear, because this show will repeat and this will be reinforce those dates coming up.
nice. Very
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. So go ahead, and we are at May 8th. We've got the rest of the month.
Yeah. As you see, there's different things about the Environmental Center. It's a history building where the Environmental Center is. It used to be the Jensen Beach Elementary School, and then converted in the early 70s to the Environmental Studies building. So you'll get to see a tour of that, and that will
On the
be
9th?
on May 9th, Wednesday in the
Okay,
morning.
May 9th. And
Yeah.
that's the day of the show that we'll be back live in the studio.
Yes.
On Wednesday, May 9th. Okay, good. So we're just taking a week
And again,
off.
Wednesday also again, you have Tuckahoe Tour and you have the Captain Sewell's house. So, I mean,
Very
you're right
nice.
there in that same vicinity up there in Jensen.
Mhm.
So, a few of them overlap, but if you plan it right, you can get to see everything.
That's great.
And of course, the captain and the missus don't mind staying late.
Yeah, oh good. And you can't miss that. That is really cool.
They
to
are
have
wonderful.
a live reenactment, and you really takes you back in time. And you do the costumes, and you have dialogue, and it's all about just being in the moment. It's very cool. And you can answer questions in character.
Yes.
Yes, Sandy Thurlow has trained us.
Oh, Sandy, there she is again. All right, and continuing on.
Now, a big day will be Saturday, May 12th.
Okay.
Saturday, May 12th, going from 10 to 2 p.m. We're calling it the Stuart Heritage Day. Now, we've done it for this is our third year doing it during this time, where we pick out places, especially in the downtown, the historical downtown section, and we get tour guides and we learn more things about these places, and we let the public come in.
That's
really great.
fantastic.
You can't
That's
always get into
Those are the
these.
heritage homes kind of tour,
Right.
right?
Sometimes we've done buildings,
Right.
but this year we're doing homes.
Oh, neat.
And it's all along Seminole Street.
Oh.
Now, Seminole Street is the one that parallels the river.
Right.
These are some of your older houses, not the oldest, but, you know, most of the
That's a
1910s,
very interesting
1920s.
street. Yeah, that's a cool street. I've often wondered who lives here. I mean, they do have some apartments, but they have
Yep.
some old houses.
Old houses, yes.
That's so cool. And the Owl House is nearby there.
Is right on the corner. We're hoping to get. See, we won't know for sure everyone because some of them are rentals, you know, for like the weekend or something.
Yes.
So we'll know when we get closer to the date which ones will be open. But any that
Okay.
are available, we'll have the signs out. The tram drivers will know which ones are available, and we'll have maps done up by then of which ones we've got. But
That's wonderful.
we're hoping for quite a few, and especially the old Colorado Inn. That's definite.
Oh, yes.
You
yes,
have
yes.
to see that if you've never seen it.
Stephen Vitale owns that. He's such a
Oh,
great guy.
it's so wonderful. You really are stepping back in time, like it was in 1910s,
Yes.
1920s. Now he's got things modern. You don't have to worry about
Right.
doing a pump to get your water. No,
Right.
but
But the
it
rooms,
still takes you back.
yeah,
It's
and they're
wonderful.
little, they're you know, kind of studio apartment like.
Yes.
They have a little kitchenette in them.
Yeah.
A friend of mine came back to visit after they sold their house here, and that's where they wanted to stay. And I got to go see it, so people will be able to see the rooms.
Rooms, yes,
Because
there'll
I'd
be
never
tours.
seen inside, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was so cool.
Yes.
I loved it.
You will like it because we
Yeah.
do a nice tour. We've done tours of the old Colorado Inn before, but we're making sure because we're doing the Seminole area that's all included.
That's great.
Do we
And
get to
better
stop?
hope.
Do we get to stop and get drinks and sneaky peek?
Oh, yeah, the sneaky
You might
tea.
get a coupon at least to get watch.
Drew
Yeah.
Pittman.
Drew Pittman
Yeah.
was on the Historic Preservation Board.
Okay, so Drew, you're on.
Yes.
We'll
Well, he
send
was.
all the
Give-
traffic your way.
Well,
And
he
give out
was.
the free tickets on those.
And
yeah.
then a new realtor has taken his place. Her name is Sherry Lee, and she
Okay.
just did this wonderful brochure
Oh.
that just hot off the presses today. And so I'll be
Let me
I'll be
see.
handing them out when I hand out the calendars around the
Oh,
county.
this is beautiful. It's
Isn't
got
it?
all the information, the mansion at Tuckahoe and
Mhm.
the Stuart Welcome Arch.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, and the House of Refuge.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool.
That's on the May tours.
Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. So this will be a handout that people will get?
Yes.
This is a keepsake. This
Yes.
is really nice.
Yeah, Sherry did a really good job.
She sure did. And the Captain Sewell house is there.
Mhm.
Your
Yes.
house.
Yep, my house.
And the Golden Gate building. Oh my goodness. This is fabulous.
Didn't that come out nice?
Yes,
Yeah.
it did. That's
Keep
mine again.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you. Ooh, I'm the first one.
Yes, you are.
This is a very nice pamphlet for those of you listening on the radio and you can't see it right now, or you're listening on the podcast. This is a fabulous piece of information all about our history with beautiful photographs of these buildings and a little bit about each and how to get involved. And that's
Mhm.
one thing I always like
Mhm.
to talk about is this is a 501c3 organization, the historicpreservation.com, and you can be involved and serve on the board. You can advocate for historic preservation. You can apply to historic registries. I love it. It's right here. Volunteer your time, like the ladies who are going to be there on
The
during
tour.
the whole month on the tour.
Right.
You know, and to be a part of your community. It's really nice to feel good about that, and you do feel good about that when people come. And I just know that I really appreciate the ladies who are always at the little feed store museum.
Mhm.
They're there.
All
out of the goodness
volunteers.
of their
Mhm.
heart. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so do that and visit the website at martin.fl.us/historicpreservation.com. Okay, continuing on.
Another good one we've got coming up is also the dedication of the plaque being on the National Registry also now
Ooh.
is All Saints Episcopal Church up in Jensen.
Oh, nice.
That is a very old church, very
Yes,
cute.
really
Has the
nice.
stained glass windows and has such a wonderful history.
Ah.
So again, this is Julie Priest who worked to get all that paperwork, and I've seen that
It
paperwork.
is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And get it approved by the National Registry.
Wow, thank you, Julie.
And a plaque will be going up. We've got that scheduled for May 13th, Sunday. So
Okay,
you
May
definitely-
13th, Sunday.
And get to see a tour of the church.
So it's at 9.
And it's church.
It's 9:15, so it's in between services.
Okay, good. That'll be great that people can go up there
Mhm.
and maybe pray a little,
Mhm.
sing a little, and dedicate a little.
And have
Mhm.
fun there. It'll be
And
a
have
wonderful
fun.
tour.
And there'll be
Yeah.
tours in the afternoon,
Oh,
11:30
nice.
to 2.
Okay, and remind everybody again, you're reading from this schedule. Where are they going to get this? At the feed store, I know, is
And
one.
the library,
The library.
county administration,
Okay.
I'll have some out at the House of Refuge.
Okay.
I'll drop some off at FOS. I'll drop some off at
What's
the
FOS?
Florida Oceanographic
Oh,
Society.
yeah. Everybody does the
And
anagrams. I don't
You'll
know.
have a Captain Sewell's house?
Captain Sewell's house,
Captain
Tuckahoe
Sewell's house.
Mansion,
Okay, okay.
Sailing Center. They're very, they're
Right,
They're,
the sailing
yeah.
center's up there.
We usually have lectures there, but it didn't work out this year
Mm.
with Matt having a lecture. He was just too busy.
Yeah.
But we'll have them all over. All
Good.
over.
Okay, all over. Just look around for the.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be orange like that?
Yeah,
Salmon.
like this.
Now,
Okay,
actually,
salmon colored.
the last Sunday of the month,
Yes.
it's going to be a glossy insert in the Stuart News.
Oh.
Okay,
So-
next Sunday.
Next
Yeah.
Sunday.
So last
Okay.
year, we had what they call a page stealer, and
Mhm.
people came and cut them out and brought them with them. But this year, they just need to find the glossy insert in there.
Okay.
And it's, the edges of it are gonna look like an old-timey treasure map kind of thing, an old piece of paper that's.
Cool.
So, and it's gonna be on both sides,
Okay.
and we're working with Terry Roper over at TC Palm,
Okay.
and she's great to work with.
Yep.
And, so we'll be having those.
That's great. And when they bring the slick piece, do they get something in return, or that's just their guide for the month?
It's just their calendar.
Okay, I was gonna say if there was a hidden treasure or something.
Have to find that for next year.
Yeah, treasure map.
Yeah.
Treasure hunt.
The gift of knowledge of history.
There you
Yes.
go.
And one thing I'd like everybody to turn out for, we
Uh-huh.
have on May 14th, a Monday, at 11 in the morning,
Okay.
will be the dedication of those gigantic 7 feet tall sailfish statues.
Oh,
Remember, we
nice.
have 5 of them throughout the
Yes.
downtown area.
Yes.
And it's taken quite a while to get all of that done.
Yeah.
I handled the history and the vintage photos, but getting the statue made and get it placed in the right place, get the sponsors, all took a lot of time.
I'd say
We've worked
so.
on that since 2012.
Wow.
So we have all of them in place now, 5 of them, we have our sponsors, everything's ready.
And
We're
those-
doing the dedication at Woodman Hall.
Woodman Hall, where is
Great
that?
place.
Where is
That's
that?
3rd Street and Akron Avenue.
Okay, well, we're here at 3rd Street.
Yeah.
That's right, so it's just down
Just
the road.
down there.
Just down the
Yeah.
road, right. And
You
tell
know,
me.
you know where the big sailfish
Yeah, the
parking lot?
sailfish.
It's that little building right
Mhm,
off
it's white,
it.
2-story.
It's next to Treasure Coast Presbyterian Church.
All right,
Mhm.
okay. And didn't Jeffrey Smith, he's our local artist and sculptor, he created the sailfish fountain. Did
Fountain.
he do these
No,
other sculptures?
that was Mike Kirkhart,
Okay.
another local boy.
Okay.
Yes.
Good, good. All
So
right.
that's something to see. We're also gonna have the tram that'll be taking us around to the other sailfish.
That's one
There's
of the
one
nicest
there,
things,
right
our
there.
tram.
And then taking that tram to the other 4.
Yeah.
Because there's one there at Woodman Hall, and then there's other ones at other locations. So you'll get to see that all by the tram.
And a really special lecture is going to be at the Blake Library on May 14th
Okay.
at 6, and it's by Miss Alice.
Oh, none other than our
Yep.
very own special dear,
Yep.
Alice Luckhardt. May 16th?
14th, that same
14th.
day.
Ah!
Same
Say that
day
date
as,
again.
same day as the sailfish.
Sailfish, okay, all right. And what time will your lecture be?
6 o'clock
6 p.m.
at the Blake.
at the Blake. Okay,
And
good.
I'm gonna be
Do we need a
covering-
ticket for that or
No,
reserve?
no, it's free.
Okay,
I'm going to be covering about a gentleman that was a resident here in Stuart.
okay.
Back from about 1907 to 1919. But he had an unusual past. His name was Dr. Charles Porter. And he was the only one to know where John Wilkes Booth was buried because he was in the military at that time and assigned to the detail to see that where he was buried, John Wilkes Booth,
Oh.
was secret. No one could know. And then he was in charge of all the conspirators that had been captured that were trying to kill Lincoln and his cabinet. There were
Oh
8
my
conspirators,
gosh.
including a Dr. Mudd, remember. And they were all jailed, and it's this Dr. Porter who is in charge of their health, taking care of them. Well, the original idea was just let them sit there and rot, till their trial.
Mhm.
He, as a human being and a doctor, could not stand that. So he's the one that advocates that they should have a little bit better treatment than that, just
Wow.
sitting there rotting. So this is what the whole story is about. And he's not allowed to tell those stories after the war, after the Civil War, for years.
Oh.
It's not until the 20th century. And by then he's now down in Stuart living.
Mm.
And he is the most popular man in the area, telling these stories of his adventures.
I can imagine.
In reference to after the assassination of Lincoln.
Yeah, wow. That's
So we had our own celebrity, so I have all of that.
that is like Tales from the Grave.
Yes.
Wow, that's going to be exciting. That's going to be
It's a
on
good
May
story.
14th at the library, the Blake Library, right, on Monterey
Yes.
Road
Mhm.
6 o'clock.
at 6 p.m. And do we need to call ahead to
No,
reserve?
no,
Just show up.
Luckily they can get a lot of seating there.
Okay, good. All right. and continuing. You've got another great things happening the next
Yes.
few days after that. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
and
Barbara.
every year, John Hennessy, who owns like the Fish Art
Yes.
House down there.
He's
yes.
responsible for the Salerno Fish Festival.
Yes,
for
yes.
Salerno Fish
He does a
Festival.
lecture on the history of Port Salerno and its fishing village.
Great.
Yeah, he does that every year. And then,
And that's free.
that's the 15th. That's Tuesday the 15th at 7 o'clock.
At the Twisted Craft and Creamery at the
Mhm.
Fish House Art Center.
Mhm.
I know where that is because we did our Art is Everywhere tour for Women's Club, and then we ended up there, and that's a great event every year in February or whenever we have it. And that he is a wonderful patron of the arts and of our history. Oh, I can't wait. I'd like to go to that. He's got a lot of information up there. So go ahead.
Well, then on Wednesday the 16th, pretty much all day, 10 to 3:30 is an open house at the House of Refuge. Normally they charge to go through. This
Right.
day it'll be all free.
Oh, everybody should go.
Yes.
I am telling you, that is so sweet and so special. And the
Yes.
Seroptimist Society, the International Seroptists, but of Stuart, that group turned it into a museum. I found that out when I got nominated for Woman of Distinction, as Alice did. Congratulations, Alice.
Yes.
We were fellow nominees
Yes.
in different categories, but
Right.
you know. But that was exciting to be there with you. I meant to
Thank
say
you.
that.
Yeah.
Sister?
You've got to give me that picture you took too.
Oh yeah. I haven't posted anything of that night. I've got to go back and just go ahead and post it. I've just been busy. But yes, they started that as a museum because it was just kind of going into disrepair, and they created it.
And
as
that
a
was in the
museum.
50s.
Yeah.
And the
50s.
director of the House of Refuge, Linda Geary,
Yes.
is on the Historic Preservation Board.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's a
Very
small town.
smart. It is, but it's also good to tie it all together
Mhm.
and keep us connected as a group. As yeah, because we care more when we know each other, and it's very good. All right. And so, I see something special coming up. I'm going to let you roll up to it.
Okay, Thursday, May 17th is,
Drum roll, please.
it's the Preservationist of the Year
Of the year, an award.
and it's given to Julie Priest.
Oh, we already know?
Yes.
Okay,
We
okay.
know.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
Julie
yeah.
Priest.
Yeah.
She's the 2018 Preservationist of the Year.
And we didn't quite know where to have it, and our new county supervisor,
Yes.
Jeff Doherty, said, why
Okay.
not have it at Tuckahoe Mansion? You know, we had Harold Markey for all these years before,
Okay.
and now he's running for county commission.
Right. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And he
okay.
was a wonderful man to work for. And he got Preservationist of the Year award
And
because he has saved a lot of these buildings behind the scenes that people go, who's
Don't even
Harold
know.
Markey?
Yeah.
He was the county representative for the Historic Preservation Board
Oh
for
my
many years.
goodness.
He's an unsung hero.
That's good to know, because I did hear his name running for commissioner. I'm like, I didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
So-
And Nikki Norton, it's
and
on the
Nikki
Historic
Norton,
Preservation
right?
Board.
So
DeWitt
that's great.
Priest, Evan Anderson, I think I might be missing someone.
Well, a bunch of different people.
Yes.
Butch is running for commissioner,
Oh.
county commissioner.
Oh, these were people on the board.
On the board,
Historic
okay,
Preservation
yeah,
Board.
Butch is on the board,
Yeah.
yeah. He's on the Port Salerno thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, go ahead.
So it's going to be very sophisticated. It's 5:30 to 6:30.
Mm.
There's going to be champagne and charcuterie.
Again, I might just show up for the champagne
Please.
and charcuterie.
And Doug Smith is said he's going to be swinging by.
Okay, good.
Because he was very influential in getting that.
Indian Riverside Park,
In-
that's
yes.
where this is,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yes.
gonna be nice, at
Yes.
the hall, what do you call it, community,
No, this is at the mansion.
oh, at the mansion, okay,
right.
because there
Yeah.
is that community, gathering place there,
Yeah,
but
this is
right
the-
next to
Yeah,
that
we're
is
working
the-
with Jane Greenwasser
Okay.
and the lovely people at the mansion. And
Very nice.
so, do you know what charcuterie is?
It's little meats and cheeses things,
It's like,
isn't it?
but my friend Andrea does it, and Andrea Poirier, and she just like a 6-foot table is just heavily laden with
All
bounty,
kinds of good stuff.
cheese,
Yeah, right.
chocolates, fruit.
Woo!
I mean, it's just, and it's a work of art.
Thanks. And then just tell us real quickly, the Tuckahoe Mansion, what's the history behind that? Because that is fascinating. You can have a
Well-
wedding there, you can have a party.
Right. Well, again, it goes back even farther than when Tuckahoe was there. It was the Racy family had a beautiful house on this high hill. This is one of the highest areas
Yeah.
in our area and overlooks the river. It's just gorgeous. So the Racy family had their house there for many years. Unfortunately, one of the sons, adult son, was left to cook for himself one day in 1921 and overlooked the pot, and it burned the house down.
Oh dear.
So it was left abandoned for many times, for many years, until Mrs. Leach of the Coca-Cola family up in Atlanta became interested, bought the property, had a special house built. It took her about 4 years to get this Tuckahoe mansion built.
Wow.
And the neat story is that she was so involved in the community with the garden club and all kinds of. She loved Stuart. She loved her mansion, but she got a little bit tired of some of the new buildings and places that were coming in around the area, especially because it was popular for trailer camps in the 40s to develop after the war. And she says, okay, to the county, how about lowering my taxes since you've got so many of these trailer parks around here? And they said, no, you're going to pay your same amount of taxes. She says, I'll get you. She put it up for sale and she sold it to a nunnery, and they don't have to pay taxes at all.
Oh, that's so,
So
great. I
she
love
got 'em
that
back.
story. She got him back good.
She built another house down in Palm Beach then
Get
afterwards.
yourself to a nunnery. Oh my gosh.
So Tuckahoe does have a fascinating
That is
history.
a fascinating history. So make sure you come up there. That's going to be really, really neat. Go ahead, continuing. We're almost
Well,
done. And you're going to be back May 16th, I think, aren't you? Well, we'll figure it out
Yeah,
after the show.
figure it
Yeah,
out,
because
yeah.
we want to remind everybody it continues through the month of May.
Yeah.
And you don't want to miss out on any of these fabulous things from the 1st to the 30th. It goes all the way through.
Well, make sure, particularly at the end of the month, remember we've got Memorial Day.
Yes.
It is May 28th,
Right.
a Monday. You have the big Memorial Parade,
Yeah, Memorial Day
of
Parade.
which the DAR marches in.
Right, and we are members of the Daughters
Yeah.
of the American Revolution.
And
it's a
then we have a special dedication towards the end where, right by the American flagpole, right there at Memorial Park, there's been a special memorial put there for the last couple of years, and we recognize a local boy
Yes.
or girl, if it applies, but so far we've just had
Right.
men, and we put a special plaque that have died in battle.
Yes.
Okay? It's not
Yes.
just served, but served and died.
And one of our local artists
And one of
created
our
that.
did the sculpture work, and it will be Jack Matthews, who will be honored this year.
Oh.
He died first one in Martin County to die in the Second World War.
Oh, my
Jack
goodness.
Matthews. He was in the Pacific on a ship.
Mhm.
He is the nephew of Sam Matthews, the famous builder that built most of Stuart
Wow.
in the 1910s,
Well, that's an
1920s,
interesting
1930s.
fact. I'd like
Yes.
to know more about that. Like, yeah, who built Stuart? That's very cool.
Is Sam Matthews, the uncle of Jack Matthews, who was the first to die.
My goodness.
Then-
You know those little houses down around California and
Yes,
you know, all
yes,
those. There's,
yes.
in fact,
Sam
there's
Matthews
a
houses.
home right there called the Sam Matthews House. It's on a dead end.
That was his
Okay.
house.
And that was his
Yeah.
house.
That was his
Okay.
house, yeah.
And then we're almost out of time, so we're going to have you back. But real
Let
quickly,
me carry
you go
one
ahead.
more thing.
One more
On
thing.
Memorial Day,
Okay, Memorial.
after all of this at the Memorial Park, go out to Indian Riverside Park, and we will have a dedication to a tree to veterans of World War I. Remember, this is the anniversary
Yeah.
of the 100th ending of World War I.
Oh.
Yes, so there'll be a special tree dedicated, and the DAR is doing that.
Oh, wonderful. Well, and you know what? Lynn Jensen, who's
Yes.
coming into being regent, she's going to be on the show soon to talk about that. So I want to thank my guests tonight, Alice Luckhardt and Barbara Osborn. You are a delight. You are treasures, our own historical treasures here in Stuart and Martin County. So tune in next week on May 2nd, because this is going to be a reprise on the radio only, and then it'll be on the podcast as well. And they'll be back later in the month. And then on May 9th, I'll be back in the studio with another great show. I want to thank you, ladies, Barbara
Thank
and
you.
Alice.
Thank you.
Frank, thank you. Richard, my sweet husband. The audience, thank you. And my sponsors, Gary Mulca, TC Palm Home Inspections, Portia B. Scott, Attorney, and Joe Stango from TechMedics. Everybody like the page, the Martin County Difference, and have a great week. See you next week at 7, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Very good show.
Yeah, wasn't that
It's
fascinating?
like going to school here.
Yeah, right? It is. I love it. I love Alice and Barbara.
I was so disappointed. I really thought it was Stuart Little.
Oh, you're
I was